Welcome along guys. In this episode we're going to be making a mould for the 350Z roof. Stay tuned. Well, this was never one of the mods I'd planned on doing to the car. Don't know why, I seem to be doing everything else, but yeah, I think I'm going to make a mould of this roof, and the plan being maybe make a carbon fibre version. So it means taking a mould of it, and then once we've done the mould we can cut the actual roof off and make a mould, obviously with make a piece with the mould and carbon fibre or fiberglass, but probably carbon fibre. First things first, we need to take the windscreen out, which is notoriously difficult. So hopefully I get out in one piece, but if I don't, I don't. I might need to get a new one. There is a few little stone chips that have always annoyed me right in the field of view, kind of here and here, so it won't be a massive inconvenience if I break it, to be fair. I'll just get a new one at some point, but it's going to make doing the dash a bit easier anyway, getting it out, because I need to obviously cut the dash round about the cage, so having that out I think is going to make that side of the job a bit easier. But yeah, the roof's pretty good condition. Wasn't painted overly long ago, it's not seen many miles, so I'll give it a polish up. There's a couple of little stone chips kind of round about here, which I'll just need to make sure are perfectly smooth before we start the mould. The other bit is the back of the roof kind of returns round at an angle, but it should be okay because the front doesn't, so making the mould should be easy enough. We take the windscreen out, we put a little bit of, probably seen me using it before, the white corrugated sheets. We'll hot glue that on right round about it to give you a flange, and it shouldn't take overly long to maybe put 8 layers of chop strand glass onto it where it's set, take it off, and yeah, that should be good to go. Just another mould I need to store somewhere, so I'll try put this is a new camera, so I'll try and put it on time lapse and we'll see how it goes. Well, I wish I could say it was a success, but yeah, I did crack the windscreen. Just up at the driver's corner, I could feel it when I was going in with the trimmer. Everywhere else it seemed to go through okay, but up there was a lot of pressure, and yeah, just started cracking. So kind of expected it, so it is what it is. So now I'm just going to get the drill with the little abrasive pads on it and just go round about, take the rest of this kind of silicone seal off it. And once that's done, I think that's it. I've got a little bit here. I'm not quite sure if it was corrosion or just glue. I'll find out. I think it's just glue. So I'll just tidy all that up and polish the roof, and then we can start the fiberglass. that's a good time for a little break from the time lapse. So I've used the corrugated sheeting that I have done before to give you a flange for making the mould, and used the soft filleting wax just to take up the gap that it leaves. You see me probably buffing and polishing. There was a lot of overspray on the roof from just when we've been doing the moulds from before. I hadn't realised that when you touched it, it was like sandpaper, so smoothed that out, took care of a couple of little blemishes that were on it. So you can see the new roof, when we make it, will tuck around the back here. It's a kind of reverse angle, but everything else isn't, so it should pull out the mould and release at the back. So yeah, we've just about 7 inches of flange right round about it, filled it up, and the next stage is to, we're thinking wax, need a few coats of wax on it, buff it off, and then a couple of coats of PVA release agent, and then we'll be good to go on to the gel coating. But that is me for tonight, and we'll maybe come back at it tomorrow. So it's now the next day and we're on to waxing it. I use this stuff here, Maguire's glaze mould release wax. So I'd usually do, this stuff's pretty good for releasing, but I usually give it a few coats of wax anyway, and then the roof itself I would give maybe 4 or 5 coats, and then after that we go on to the PVA release, polyvinyl acetate I think it's maybe called. Do 2 coats of that, and then once that dries we can put on the green gel coat. So we'll get cracked on. So time to mix up the tooling resin, tooling gel coat, and actually give it a single thought, but I've got very little left, so I don't know if I've got enough to do this, but we're going to try.
Queen of overthinking. It's like we're done before we even started. So if this is the end now, baby, know that I gave it my all. I believe in us, I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. Hope you believe in us, please don't give up.
Well, that's the 2 coats of the gel coat on. It's just going to the point where it is tacky, so you can touch it and leave a fingerprint in it, but nothing coming off on your finger. So it's about time to put the first couple of layers of the fiberglass matting on, and I think I might do 2 layers. Yeah, maybe do 2 layers and then leave it till that sets, and then we'll do another 2 sessions, maybe 4 layers per session, just to build up to about 10 layers, like we usually do most of the moulds, so they're nice and strong, and after that should just pop off and it'll be usable. So fingers crossed, we'll just crack on with the fiberglass and just time lapse it. About 2 minutes of your time to watch it. Alright.
No, I will fight, 'cause I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. Hope you believe in us. Please don't give up on me. At least give me a try. It's like you almost know what I am thinking. 'Cause I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. 'Cause you're the best thing, best thing. You're the best thing.
So last night's job, I came out and I used these 6mm chop strands just next to the resin, and I just went round all these angles here just to reinforce them so that I didn't have to worry about all the next layers of matting kind of conforming to those angles. So I just went right round the outside of the roof there, and that's all hardened up now. I gave it a quick sand over, which I didn't video, and now tonight I'm going to put probably 4 or 5 layers of this matting on, let that set up, and do the same tomorrow, and that'll be this mould finished. I do have the fans running, so it's a little bit noisy, but yeah, stick this on for time lapse, won't take too long. Couple of minutes of your time and you should see a finished mould.
I feel better on the weekend. Give my life a better meaning. Let me stay where I'm in phase. I feel better on the weekend. I feel better on the weekend. Give my life a better meaning. Let me stay where I'm in phase. I feel better on the weekend.
Well, that's fiberglass and done. There is 11 layers on it now, 11 layers of 300g chopped strand fiberglass, and probably about 5 tins of 5kg resin on this roof. So it's quite heavy duty. Probably costs over £200 in materials to make it. So I'm just going to give it a quick sand, and then I'm going to try popping it off, and fingers crossed it goes well. And then it's quite late tonight, so tomorrow I'll take it outside and I'll do the trimming up, and it'll be good to go after that. So here we go.
can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off. You got devotion, dance in slow motion. My eyes can't help looking at you right now. So much emotion, just pick your poison. Is every move you
And there we have it. This mould didn't quite turn out as good as the previous ones I've did. If you look closely, it's maybe hard to tell. You can maybe see it. So when you brush on the PVA, usually it goes quite nice and thin, and then when you put the gel coat on, it kind of dissolves it more or less, so it is a very smooth surface. But I think it's been my fault because it's not as cold as what it has been in the winter. I haven't put the heaters on, so I think the temperature's not really been up to scratch. So I'm going to need to polish this, which will come out nice once it's all sanded and polished. It's just an extra step I need to take. But mould wise it's fine, it's all falling the shapes. You see a few little bits of the red paint that's came off the car, so I'll catch that when we're sanding it all. But for now, quite happy with it. It's maybe about, I would say 8mm thick. It was an absolute nightmare to get off the car. Let me see if I can turn this round. There we go. Yeah, it was an absolute nightmare to get off the car. I don't know if the time lapse showed that or not, but I thought I was going to break it, but I didn't. It's off. And that's it for this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. The next episode, I think I'm going to be making the arches, the wide arches. I'll finally get the fiberglass out and we'll make the wide arches and maybe the front arches and just kind of work our way through and hopefully start putting a body kit on. Still waiting to hear back from the guy about the exhaust manifolds, but once that's happening the car will go away, but then I can concentrate. I have a bit more space in here to work. I can concentrate on doing the body parts. So thanks very much for watching. Till next time.